Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Story Time with Sarah. Today we're going to be reading a story called The Runaway Hamster by Haya, Hasan. Zaina lived in a big house with her mum. She also lived with her dad and her pet hamster, Spotty. Zaina, who was 9 years of age, had black hair and brown eyes. She was very kind, but quite lazy. One day, when Zaina woke up, her mum called her downstairs for breakfast. It was already very late, and Zaina was, as usual, the last one out of bed. "Mum, can I eat upstairs because I want to watch TV?" "Okay, but don't drop anything," said Mum. "And Zaina, do remember to feed your hamster." Zaina ran into her room, put a tiny bit of food in her hamster's bowl and ran to watch TV. Zaina had the very bad habit of always watching TV. She wasn't very active and spent most of the day in front of the television set. Zaina was a very lucky girl because she had a lovely, creamy, white, fluffy little hamster called Spotty. When Zaina had first bought Spotty from the pet shop, he was very healthy. He was very fast and always playing in his cage and tunnels. But after some days, Zaina lost interest and didn't play so much with her hamster and used to often forget to feed him. Day by day, Spotty got thinner and thinner. When Zaina noticed that Spotty wasn't running or playing in his cage anymore, she was worried about him. But as usual, she got busy watching television and watching her favourite TV programme and forgot all about him. One night, Zaina forgot to close Spotty's cage door and he leapt out of his cage. He went searching for some food. When everyone was still and silent, Spotty was scampering around the whole house. He explored Zaina's room, and when he saw that the door of the room was open, he quickly ran out. Suddenly, Spotty found himself looking down at the staircase. He was just about to take his first step down the stairs when he saw a picture of the family cat hanging on the wall. Spotty was so scared, he squeaked and started running in circles. Suddenly he found himself tumbling down the stairs. Bump, bump, bump. Poor Spotty. He was rolling down the stairs very quickly, but he was glad to get away from the horrible, scary cat. Spotty explored the whole house. In the kitchen, the cupboard was not very tightly shut, so he squeezed himself inside and jumped onto the shelf. To his surprise, right in front of him was a whole pack of hamster food. He immediately dived into the packet and started gobbling down all the food. When he was full, he ran into the living room and curled up behind the cosy sofa and fell fast asleep. The next morning, the first one to wake up was Zaina's dad. He had to wake up very early to go to his office. He tiptoed into the kitchen, ate breakfast, and then went into the living room to fetch his keys. He picked up his heavy car keys, but they accidentally slipped out of his hand and fell behind the sofa. The startled Spotty woke up seeing a huge hand coming towards him. When Zaina's dad reached out to grab his keys, he felt something soft and furry in his hands. He recognised the ball of fluff to be Zaina's thin little hamster. That's funny. I thought that Spotty was asleep in his cage. I wonder how he escaped," said puzzled Dad. When Zaina woke up at 10:30 in the morning, she couldn't find Spotty. They all looked everywhere, but there was no sign of the little hamster. Zaina kept looking for Spotty and crying all day until Dad came home. "I know where your hamster is," said Dad. "I gave it to someone who will look after him properly." The next day began, the weekend. Zaina was very sad. Zaina and her family were invited to dinner at the house of Uncle Uthman, a very good friend of her dad. Half-heartedly, Zaina went with her family to dinner. To her surprise, Her hamster Spotty was running about and playing with Uncle Uthman's son, Ahmed. Zaina ran to her dad and said angrily, "Why is my hamster in their house?" Dad calmed her down and replied, "You didn't look after your hamster properly." "But that's not fair, it's my hamster," cried Zaina. "Zaina, do you notice how Spotty is looking so happy and so much healthier?" "Do you know why?" said Dad. Zaina realised her dad was right. Spotty did look healthier and much more active. "Spotty is happy here as he is fed on time and the kids spend time playing with him," said Dad. Meanwhile, Uncle Uthman noticed Zaina was upset and he called everyone for dinner. Zaina forgot about Spotty as a delicious smell of pizza was coming from the kitchen. She joined the family at the dining table. As Zaina finished her dinner, she remembered it was time for her favourite cartoon. She said to Ahmed, "Hey, it's time for Tom and Jerry. Let's go and watch it." Ahmed didn't know much about cartoons and showed no interest. Instead, he asked Zaina to come and see his paintings in his room. Zaina went with him upstairs to see the paintings. She was surprised to see the children's room. It was beautifully decorated with lovely drawings and paintings. "Who made them?" asked Zaina, very surprised. "I did," replied Ahmed. "Do you like paintings? We can paint something if you like." Zaina didn't know what to say. She spent most of her spare time watching TV and never tried to do anything else. "Maybe I can try along with you," replied Zaina. They both took out the paints and paper, and with Ahmed's help, Zaina drew a lovely picture. She was having a lot of fun and forgot all about television. Dad and Uncle Uthman came upstairs. Zaina happily showed them her picture. They both liked it and appreciated Zaina's efforts. "It's time to go home, Zaina," said Dad. Zaina came downstairs and saw her hamster in the living room. She was very sad and had tears in her eyes. She asked her father, "Please, Dad, I promise I won't spend so much time on TV. I look after my hamster. So can we take him back home?" Uncle Uthman stepped forward and said to Zaina's dad, "I think Zaina has learnt her lesson and I'm sure she will look after her hamster." Zaina hugged her father and pleaded, "Please, please, Dad, I promise." Zaina hugged her dad and pleaded, "Please, please, Dad, I promise." Mum said to Zaina, "You know, it's a big responsibility to keep pets. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, always emphasized that we should be kind to animals, and he was very angry with a woman who didn't look after her cat." Dad, realizing that Zaina was ashamed and sorry for her carelessness, allowed her to take her hamster back home. Dad also promised Ahmed he would get him a new hamster. So what have we learnt today? Well, we've learnt two important lessons for this story. We should spend our time in meaningful things. Wasting time watching television is not good all the time. It's not good for your health. You don't learn anything all the time watching television. But also, it's important to be kind to animals. If you have a pet, it's your responsibility to look after this pet because it's one of Allah's creatures. We are supposed to be kind and caring and take our responsibilities very seriously. Anyway, that's all we have time for today. But don't worry, because I'll see you again soon on Story Time with Sarah. Assalamu alaikum.